Supercross is not for the faint of heart. This sport is a gambler's paradise, where you have to lay it all on the line. 200-pound motorcycles in the hands of mere mortals would spell disaster. But under the control of these guys, it is pure magic to watch. Suzuki's Ricky Carmichael is the sport's most decorated rider. The man they call RC has 11 titles and 108 career wins to his credit. In the past 2 seasons, most of the wins have gone to Chad Reed. The Australian guided his Yamaha to the title in 2004. Can he repeat in such a talented and star-studded field? Talent like Cajun Kevin Windham. The Honda star battled Reed all last season while earning 5 race victories. Superstars like 7-time champion Jeremy McGrath. 2 years after his retirement, Showtime is back to put his chips on the table in this high-stakes game of can you top this? Then there's the wild card in this deck. The 259 has moved up to the 250. James Bubba Stewart could be the sport's breakout star. He could be its most dominant and daring rider. But first, he has to go all in. Line up at the gate and race the most talented field in two-wheeled sports history. The 32nd board is sideways. Get ready. The 2005 season is set to get underway. Right now on ESPN2. Welcome to Anaheim, California, in the heart of Orange County, and a sold-out Angel Stadium for the 2005 THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everyone. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele. We welcome you to the 2005 season here in North America. And I'll tell you what, the cyclism is upon us. Never have we seen this much talent, Cameron, on the track at the same time.
Well, dreams do come true. I've been dreaming about Jeremy McGrath coming back. The 7-time champ is here, and he's going to be racing, and he's going to be racing against a guy that everybody's been talking about for years, the winningest rider in 125cc history, James Bubba Stewart. It is his day. He has been waiting for January 8th. Throw in LaRocco, Pastrana, Ferry, Voss, Vuillemin, and Ricky Carmichael has 11 titles to his name. And oh my gosh, it is going to be a shootout. And hey, let's not forget, a little bit of mud on the track today.
We'll get to that momentarily, but we had a chance to talk to a few of the key riders and get their thoughts as they got ready for Anaheim. And here's what they had to say.
You know, we have a lot of riders, a lot of competitors, and a lot of individuals, and a lot of personalities. So I think that's a great combination for a great rivalry and a lot of hype. I welcome it. I feel like our sport is getting great comments, and the more people that want to hear it, I'm sure that the more we talk it up. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great season, and to be part of it all.
It's very exciting. There's a lot of good competition, a lot of great riders. The talent is deep, and I just want to be a big factor of it all. I feel like I am, and I just want to keep it going.
There's so much hype, and I understand all this me coming in, Chad, Ricky, and all that. But I'm honestly trying to stay out of that. That's why in all my interviews I seem confident, because I'm not about to let myself get hyped up and go out here and not do what I think I should do and be crushed about it. If I go out and get 20th, or if I get beat, I'm gonna come back in and say, you know what, these guys are better than me right now. Whether they be better than me next week, I don't know, but I'm working my butt off. I feel like I done so much. If they beat me, they're just better than me right now.
Well, if you haven't heard, Mother Nature's delivered almost 7 inches of rain in the Southern California area over the last 3 days. But all things considered, the track's in pretty good shape. Right now, let's take a look at our track facts brought to you by MX versus ATV Unleashed.
Well, 6,000 total yards of dirt or material used. 2,500 of that is road-based. What is that? Sand and gravel mixture underneath the dirt. It helps dissipate the water. Amazing what they have done here. The track very contestable. I think still we're going to see some triple jumping. and we're going to see some guys risking it. Big triples, big jumps, rhythm sections become even more tricky with the mud that's out there.
All right, before we get to racing action, let's join the third member of our broadcast team. She's the bravest of the bunch out there, braving the elements. Let's find out from Jamie Little what's going on down on the track.
That's right, Todd. We're out here in the rain. It's coming down right now, a light sprinkle. Good news is, though, it's not raining as hard as we've seen the last 2 days. But things have been changing. Now, what you're looking at is the start straight. This is as bad as it gets on the track. The most of the track is dry. There are some muddy spots, but the staff has done an amazing job keeping it dry for the most part. Now, whether it rains or it doesn't rain, the good news is we are going to have one amazing show. So sit back and enjoy. Todd?
Well, it's the 250 class, the class we've been waiting for, Cameron. It's heat number 1. The 30 board is to the sideways, and look at that stacked field.
Unbelievable. Jeremy McGrath being seated first. There was no qualifying, so here in the first spot.
And look
who's
at
it going to be?
To the front of the pack.
Trying to get a number there. It looks like lucky Kyle Lewis of Team Moto XXX getting the whole shot. And then a 965 running their second. Todd, amazing. 2 riders you may not have expected to go right to the front. Kyle Lewis said today he's feeling great.
I got so excited because Jeremy McGrath was right in the mix there. And at the very end, Kyle Lucky Lewis slid in front of him. So it's 23 Lewis in first place. And McGrath is moving on up. McGrath currently sitting in third, comes up short right there. To the inside goes Heath Voss running the 13.
And the rider there, that's the 259. He was the fastest rider in practice. Amazing. Doing the triples, both of them actually in the mud. We'll see if he can do that here in this heat race.
Unbelievable. Look at this. McGrath to the lead. He gets by Kyle Lewis, and it is Jeremy McGrath in a triumphant return. Goes to the front of the pack here at 250. Heat number 1 comes up short hard.
Well, he decided not to go for that double jump there at the end. He decided to hold off, and oh, James Stewart just getting up from a crash. So the mud, unbelievably tough to ride in. McGrath not doing that double jump and not costing him a position. The place is going absolutely nuts. The king, the 7-time Supercross champ, who's in front.
And in the midst of all that, we forget about James Stewart. He gets tangled up in the back of the pack, goes down, something we haven't seen in a long time. We'll see if James can work his magic, but right now the magic is showtime, and Jeremy McGrath out in front.
Well, Jeremy, when I spoke to him yesterday, he kind of laughed. I said, Jeremy, are you thinking that maybe it would have been a better time to come back at Phoenix where they have a covered stadium? And he just laughed. He goes, you know what? I don't ride much in the rain. I ride after it rains. It gets good. But I just don't spend too much time in the mud. But I'm going to race at Anaheim. I'm looking forward to it.
James Stewart is in a battle for 4th place right now. James Stewart Jr. making his debut in the 250 class, and this is not a lap that he's going to remember for a long time. It has been a disaster for him.
Well, James got into these sand whoops, started going real hard and getting past Heath Voss. He gets tangled up at the end, comes across Voss, knocks him down, and almost gets run over by another rider there. But good news for James is he's all right and, well, still able to do the finish line double jump.
James Stewart currently running in 4th place behind your leader, Jeremy McGrath, Kyle Lewis, and Heath Voss running 1, 2, and 3. He picks off Voss. So it is James Stewart on the move. Stewart in 3rd, and now he's got Kyle Lewis in his sights, and just ahead of him is Jeremy McGrath. And it looks like James wants to come out of here with nothing less than a victory.
Well, James definitely, he may be the most amazing rider ever to get on a dirt bike, but the thing everybody's been talking about is that he's willing to risk it so much that might catch up with him. We saw him crash once, going faster than anybody else. He has the fastest lap times of practice, does the triples first. So James just has to be a little bit careful. He already knows that he's fast and that he can pass Kyle Lewis. He just has to pick the right spot and not get himself in any trouble.
Once again, another bike that is bogged down in that same area where we saw Ryder go down earlier in the 125 class. It is stuck, and they're going to leave it there throughout. James Stewart continues to work on Kyle Lewis, number 23, the man who picked up the whole shot. Your leader, Jeremy McGrath, making his return to Supercross on board the Honda. And here comes James to the inside, picks the line, and moves into 2nd place.
How is his work of the whoop section? He's doing it just like a normal whoop section. Remember, the bike has
McGrath has gone down to the finish line. They're going to have to yellow flag James, so James Stewart goes to the lead, and Jeremy in a very precarious situation right now at the bottom of that hill. Cameron, he wondering what happened to Showtime, we'll be back to Anaheim, Angel Stadium for more of 250 when we come back, including that amazing wipeout by Jeremy McGrath. Stay with us. Scooters. Welcome back to Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. It's the THQ AMA Supercross Series, and your leader right now is James Bubba Stewart Jr., number 259, was as back as far as 9th place on the opening lap. He has worked his way up. We saw Jeremy McGrath in the lead for 2 laps, and then he had his problems on the finish line. And Cameron, here's where it all went wrong for the King, Jeremy McGrath, with James Stewart closing in.
Well, Jeremy here making a line. He goes down in the middle, not a lot of run. He could have got a little more from the back to go for that double jump. He pulls up, lands on the face just a little bit, tries to keep it running, but the mud slides him around. So MC having to pick up his bike to number 2, and he's still in a qualifying position, I believe. To take a look at the stats, 8 riders will move on to the main event in this abbreviated series, or this abbreviated evening, because there are no semifinals.
So your leader is James Stewart as we move up on one of the last laps. We're going 6th lap. James is on number 5. It's tough to pick out with all the mud out there, but there he is on the left side of your screen working his way through. It is Stewart, Lewis, and Balby right now, currently sitting in 3rd place, the 965 bike, who had a great start. Antonio Jorge Balby. And there is Kyle Lewis is number 23. Mike LaRocco, the one having all the problems and covered in mud.
Well, Mike LaRocco's been around as long as basically anybody out there. And he is smart and knows that he only needs to get the top 8 to get to the main event, but he wouldn't mind passing up to get a better gate pick. He won last year in Indianapolis on his birthday weekend. I'm sure he wouldn't mind taking another win here. I mean, a lot of people say the rain, the mud is a great equalizer. Kyle Lewis, who has had his share of bad luck last year, a very tough year for Kyle Lewis, nearly, a near-death experience in a hospital in Europe, punctured a lung, ripped his shoulder apart. He's back healthy, looks great, about 20 pounds down from last year. He is in fighting weight.
So Kyle Lewis is in a transfer position, currently in 2nd, but your leader is James Stewart Jr. An amazing ride in very difficult conditions. He is the current leader. Took over from Jeremy McGrath when he had his problems at the start-finish line. But James is on the final lap as we look at Kyle Lewis continue to motor around. He picked up the whole shot here in 250 heat number 1 and has been pretty consistent throughout. Mike LaRocco, meanwhile, has had to battle his way up, and now he currently sits in 3rd place.
Kyle Lewis told me earlier in the evening, he said, "You will not believe how fast my bike is. It is ridiculous." You may not be able to see it here in the mud, but when we get to Phoenix, I'm going to be getting hole shot after hole shot, he's claiming. And tonight, another hole shot. Kyle Lewis knows how to do it. Again, these two guys, veterans, battling it out. It almost looks like it's in slow motion for Supercross.
Yeah, we talk about the lap times, and they're well over a minute, minute 10, close to a minute 15, and that is not where we're normally seen out of these guys. The conditions are very difficult, very challenging. Just keeping the bike up and running is all they can do right now as Kyle Lewis comes through, and he is on the white flag lap as they go through lap 7 of 8. But your leader is James Stewart Jr., number 259, on board the Kawasaki. We talked to him yesterday a little bit about the conditions. He said he didn't care. He just wanted to be out here and running. There you see 23. That's Kyle Lewis and having a nice battle with Mike LaRocco. LaRocco just moving past.
23 going all the way off course, coming back. That's Kyle Lewis, of course. And Kyle Lewis won his first 125 Supercross when James Stewart was 2 years old.
Look at it one more time. There's Kyle Lewis. Watch this.
Yeah, you see him wedging there, going up that face, Todd. The wheel turned a bit, kept his momentum going, goes off the track. People running for cover out there.
And there is the white flag for James Stewart Jr. Bubba is out in force, and he's such a talented rider. There you see the lap time of 1:14.11, Cameron. Not a stellar time, but with these conditions, he's getting the most out of his bike, the most out of the track, finding the lines that are passable.
Well, as the track breaks down, the lap times will probably get a little bit slower. We'll see if we can do any course maintenance before they get to the main event. But James Stewart definitely did look good. And, it looks like he stalled his motorcycle.
With a half a lap to go, James stalls out momentarily, bumps it over, and he's back up and running again. Now, that's the section during practice when it was rain, just after they took the plastic off, and he was able to triple. But I think wisely here, he has chosen just to roll through here with just a half a lap to go, take his qualifying position, Cameron, Cameron, and get back to the motorhome and get cleaned up.
Well, the one thing you may see there, too, James Stewart stalling the motorcycle, could be because he's not using the clutch as much as he normally would. That's one thing that really breaks down in the mud in these conditions. If you really use a lot of the clutch, what the riders say they want to do and the mechanics say, they want the rider to ride down a gear and rev it higher. Keep the bike going. Don't shift up and fan the clutch. So maybe James just not using the clutch there, the bike being heavier with all the mud accumulated on it. At this point, probably a good 25 to 30 pounds of extra weight there.
His mechanic, one of the best in the business, Jeremy Albrecht, will be on that bike momentarily as the checkered flag comes out for your winner in the 250 class. James Bubba Stewart Jr. picks up the victory. What a way to welcome him to the 250 class. He goes out and picks up his Heat win right off the bat. And Cameron, we saw that graphic momentarily. He was back in 7th position, started 16th, and here he is coming back to fight all the way to pick up the win. Nice statement, James. As we take a look at our GameStop 250 Heat number 1 results, mark it down, folks. I was there when James Stewart won his first Heat race. It's number 259 with the win. He's standing by with Jamie Little.
All right, James Bubba Stewart answering a lot of questions, comes out here. You had your issues, but you put down and you got your first win. James, what's going through your mind right now?
Actually, that Heat race was horrible. I didn't answer any questions besides, yeah, I can come back from the back. It's a horrible race. I got a good, awesome jump off the start, and it's raining out here. My hand slipped off when I went to go shift, and then my hand slipped off again. I stalled it, and same thing again, and a whoops, and I fell. So.
What happened out there when you first went down?
I was an idiot. I don't know what happened. Next thing I know, like, I'm picking myself up, and I'm like, God, dude, what's up? Feels like the old days, 2002. Hey, with all that, I won a Heat race. That was the coolest part.
James Bubba Stewart. We'll see him in the main event and see if he can do it again. Todd?
As the precipitation continues to fall at Angel Stadium, the fans are staying in their seats as they anticipate what could be a great night of racing despite the muddy conditions. And speaking of muddy conditions, we talked to the 11-time champ, the winningest rider in AMA history, Ricky Carmichael, in this edition of our Suzuki Strategy.
I just want to be a big factor of it all. I feel like I am, and I just want to keep it going. I don't want to downplay the first race, but the championship isn't won at Anaheim. I want to be the guy at Vegas holding the #1 plate up, and whatever I have to do that, I'm going to do it.
What an amazing Heat number 1. We slide right into Heat number 2. Look at that lineup. Chad Reed, Ricky Carmichael, David Vuillemin, Kevin Windham, Robbie Reynard, Ernesto Fonseca, welcome back, Nick Way, and the rest of the crew, including TP, Travis Pastrana in the house as the rain begins to fall once again. Cameron, wow.
Holy, stack them up. Right there, take a look. Kevin Windham, the number 14. A lot of people picking Windham to win this in the mud.
We'll get a good look at those outfits right now because that gear will be all but ruined in about 30 seconds. 2 heats, 16 transfer, 1 LCQ. That's how we're going to get through it with an 8-lap qualifier here. They've shortened everything because the track has been deteriorated because of the amount of rain. As we go on board with the best cameraman in the business, Ricky Carmichael running the helmet cam for us tonight, Cameron. You see the extension on the visor.
A little bit of an extension on the visor to try to keep the mud out of their eyes. They can put their helmet down and try to block the mud as it's coming in. And Ricky Carmichael has been around quite some time with 11 championships. And I think he's no stranger to that. Take a look at Chad Reed there. He has foam on top of his helmet. What that does is the mud won't sink to it as well. It bounces off, and so that keeps your head lighter. And you're putting it down to block the roof like we were just talking about Ricky Carmichael.
Well, Mother Nature has delivered an unbelievable amount of moisture. It is biblical proportion, but cyclism is upon us as the best in the world line up on the line for 250 Heat number 2. It's Carmichael, Reed, and the rest of the crew set to go.
One guy that's a big favorite in the mud, number 12, David Vuillemin. Let's see if he can put it down here.
Carmichael on the inside of the line. Can he hold it?
And the Yamaha right to the front. Chad Reed with a great start, but Ricky Carmichael is right there.
What we've been waiting for over a year. Ricky gets bogged down on the inside, and Chad Reed triples out. It is Reed tripling out, the first one to do it tonight, and that leaves Ricky Carmichael in second place, well behind Chad Reed. So the Australian comes out and throws down the gauntlet first. The defending champ is out outside line, but it's Chad Reed, your leader. Carmichael in second, and then 103 in third, and then number 12 goes for it, and that one caused the problem.
103 down, Sebastien Tortelli, as is the number 12 there of David Vuillemin, the two Frenchmen. A lot of people have been talking about, including Ricky Carmichael, with their mud skills, hailing from France. They ride in horrible weather quite a bit during the year. And look at that!
Carmichael blitzing in. Chad Reed can't believe it.
Carmichael coming to the inside, showing Reed not only wheel, but the side of the motorcycle.
Unbelievable speed with these conditions. It is Ricky Carmichael taking over the lead. Chad Reed coming right back. Tricky section right here, Cameron, because it is so locked down. Look at Chad go to the outside. He's going to go for the triple. Does it?
That was a very interesting play by Ricky Carmichael there. I'm not sure why he did it. On a normal Supercross race, you might dive to the inside to block the line, but Chad Reed has a clear line in the triple. Ricky and he are two of only 6 riders that did that triple in practice.
Well, despite the rain, it is a sold-out crowd here at Angel Stadium. It's been sold out for a long time. And Carmichael goes to a tear-off, but it is Chad Reed out in front. Ricky Carmichael currently running second. And let's go back and see what happened to Sebastien Tortelli with his fellow countryman just to his right.
Well, look at all the roost Ricky throws right here. Watch this. Just roosting, amazing amount of dirt. Sebastien just over-jumps into the flats in between those two jumps and just wedges.
Carmichael jumps the double finish, and he goes to the lead. Despite the slow track, Carmichael is making the most of it, and he seems to be learning every time Chad goes by him. Well, that's an interesting line. I'll try that next time.
These two riders are coming in more fit than I have ever seen. Working with their trainers, Ricky Carmichael has at times ridden 25 lap motos just to get ready. Chad Reed is down almost 20 pounds in weight. They are both here and ready to battle, and it's great to see them getting good starts and being right there together at the beginning.
Well, let's go back. Another pass is taking place. Here's Ricky coming into the finish line. Chad has a slight bobble camera, and he takes full advantage of it.
He does, and Chad was smart. He stayed out there in that outside line where he could have taken the line because Ricky may not have jumped it knowing he was in that line, but Ricky goes for it, does the jump, throws it down, and just a great pass by Ricky Carmichael.
They continue to battle each other, and they battle the elements. Who will emerge victorious in heat number 2 in the 250 class? Carmichael, your leader. Reed in hot pursuit. Stick around and find out after this.
Rated E for everyone. At Rainbow Studios, we went beyond the limits of off-road racing. Now you can jump a golf cart at 70 miles an hour. But
welcome back to the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series at Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele and Jamie Little. We are in the midst of 250 heat number 2. It has been exciting thus far as Ricky Carmichael leads, but it was Chad Reed, the defending champ, who got the whole shot. They've gone back and forth several times, but Carmichael, Cameron, has seemed to figure out the best line, and he's still able to triple that one section.
He is still tripling, and one thing to point out is, as you said before, Ricky is not as tall as some of the other riders, but his bike is taller than it was in the past. He was shaving the motorcycle down. Now he's riding a little bit taller to get better riding in the whoops, so people were questioning about the mud, but hey, it's not total slop or total goo. It's more like kind of sticky rust right now, and that's kind of similar to the sand he rides in Florida.
No question about it. And hats off to everyone here who's worked on this track because we've gotten nearly 7 inches of rain in the last 3 days. It has been unbelievable as Carmichael continues to run out in front, taking that outside, less traveled line. Here he is again, able to triple through it again. And Cameron, you talked about the weight on the bike with the extra mud, still being able to do that. That is unbelievable.
It sure is. And we talked about the foam that's packed in everywhere to try to keep the mud off. Some people use different kinds of sprays, you know, baking pan spray sometimes they use. And everybody has a different opinion as what works, but they're still gaining so much weight on the motorcycle. And Ricky just not having any problem. I mean, he's having problems lining up some of the stuff, but he's still getting everything done he wants to do.
All right, let's send it down to Jamie Little, who's with a very special guest.
Well, Jeremy McGrath is here, and he's not just on the sidelines watching, he's riding. Jeremy, what did it feel like to lead again here in your house in Anaheim?
Well, it was amazing for one, because I'm not really a mud rider, but, I mean, I was going for it on the start, and then I got in the lead, and I heard the fans going crazy, and that was an unbelievable feeling. It was great, and Anaheim's always been my home track, and that was awesome.
I haven't heard the fans out loud in a long time. We'll watch MC back in the main event.
All right, thank you very much, Jamie. Good to see Jeremy McGrath in the main event as Ricky Carmichael continues to labor his way through the field, picking the right line, making passes still, Cameron. That's what's so amazing. So it's Carmichael, Reed, Windham, Tortelli, and Vuillemin, your top 5. Fonseca, Pastrana, and Evans are in transfer position.
So key to get to that main event. The first time you can see the rain really starting to fall, which may make it even tougher in the last chance qualifier. Remember, no semis are going to be here, so you want one of those first 8 transfer spots to go to the main event. If you don't make it, anything can happen when you get into the LCQ, especially with the rain starting to fall harder here in Anaheim.
With Carmichael out in front, a best lap time of 1:05, which is absolutely amazing with these conditions. Well done to Ricky Carmichael as he moves in there. As we slide back, we've got a nice battle in the back of the pack. In 8th position is Travis Pastrana, number 199. And Cameron, maybe more impressive is that he is riding with a cast on his hand.
For sure, and it's not a full cast. It is the same length and size-wise length, but it's not as thick. It only has a couple of wraps, and what it does, it doesn't hold the bones together. He says the bones are totally healed. What it does is hold his hand down into his wrist and arm. It holds the ligaments from stretching out. He says it hurts really bad when he's going through the whoops or comes up short on jumps, but most of the time it's not too bad, but it is constant pain.
Don't bet against 199. He is a gamer. Travis Pastrana, great to have him here as Ricky Carmichael makes the turn down the home stretch through the sand. Welcome back to Supercross, Mr. Carmichael. It is Ricky Carmichael winning heat number 2 in Anaheim. Cameron, he looks absolutely ecstatic about putting that one to bed, answering a lot of questions, and I'd have to say somewhat of a dominating performance.
Definitely. I mean, Chad Reed did come back and pass him, but Carmichael not only looked confident, but his lines were so solid, and he was so on it at all times. You saw Chad maybe getting mixed a little bit more in his lines, but Carmichael just unbelievable, as you said.
As we take a look at our Thor final results, 250 heat number 2, a momentous occasion for Ricky Carmichael as he picks up the victory on board a Suzuki. Chad Reed checks in at 2nd, then Kevin Windham, David Vuillemin, Sebastien Tortelli's into the main, as is Ernesto Fonseca. Tyler Evans is in there, and Travis Pastrana gets the 8th and final transfer position. Let's send it down to Jamie Little, who's with Ricky Carmichael.
Well, the great stories continue here in Anaheim. Ricky Carmichael, welcome back to Supercross.
Oh, it feels good, you know, considering the conditions. Man, I feel awesome. Got a killer start. My Suzuki's running great, and I just want to get points. I know that was a good effort, but I'm in the main event, and that's one step closer.
Well, how about that battle with Reed, man? Oh my gosh, back and forth. The whole stadium was on their feet.
Yeah, I tell you, we were going back and forth, and I could, you know, get by him, and then I didn't think about it. I just went flying by him and didn't protect the backside, and he would get by me, but I was able to sneak by him, and the rest was history.
Ricky Carmichael, he definitely knows how to get the job done after missing an entire season of Supercross. We welcome him back.
Well, you can catch Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, and James Bubba Stewart in much drier conditions, I guarantee, next week when we go to Phoenix, Arizona, January 16th, 2005, 1 p.m., 3 p.m. Eastern. It is all about THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series. Check your local listings. You won't want to miss this one. Right now, let's send it back down into the elements and Jamie Little.
Well, Todd, as you can see, the raindrops are coming down, but hey, it's Supercross. Rain or shine, the show is going on. What do you think so far, guys?
Woo! It's awesome.
What's the best thing so far?
Number 4, Carmichael.
Carmichael making a return, taking the win. And how about you? Have you been to a Supercross before?
Yeah, this is my first one. I'm feeling great. I want to see McGrath win it all. I used to see him on TV when I was a little kid. I want to see him in person for the first time. That would be great.
Awesome. Well, even though we have this show continuing on tonight, it's not that easy to get to a format that'll work with the track conditions. Earlier, we had a writers' meeting. Well, it's going to go down in the history books, and this is what they had to say about it.
Between the intermittent rain patterns, we're able to conduct our business, build the track, get everything prepared, lay pipe and grid work down for drainage, and have a racetrack that's actually raceable tonight in these type of conditions.
It's just one of them things where it's you just got to get out there and try to stay up. And I don't know how bad the track is or how bad it's going to get, but if it's like I'm picturing, you pretty much just got to survive. And and you know, hope for the best.
And due to the bad weather, the AMA had to go with the seeding criteria, the top 40 in any series last year, and the World Supercross this year, past champions, and a lottery draw.
In the rule book, there is a section that says that I can pick the top 40 in the series at the present time, and then if we can't fill it that way, I can go to a lottery, which I did today. And what I did today was definitely for the betterment and interest of the program. Because if we would have gone out there and ran 178 riders over that racetrack, we would have had a mess.
There are your Samsung 250 LCQ results. Remember, 4 transferring on to the main event. They will be Ernesto Fonseca, Jeff Gibson, Nick Way, and Joe Aloff, all moving on to the main event. When we come back, it's the most anticipated 250 main in Supercross history. Will it be Carmichael, Stewart, or Pastrana? Find out when we come back.
The outside line.
Welcome back to Anaheim, California, the THQ World Supercross GP and the THQ AMA Supercross Series as we welcome you back on a very rainy evening here in Angel Stadium. Todd Harris along with Cameron Steele, Jamie Little reporting from the track. And the attendance tonight, despite the downpour the last 3 days, complete sellout, more than 45,000. And no one has left their seat because the best main that we've seen in a long time, something that Supercross hasn't seen in a very long time, this much talent on the line. We take you back in time to the last time we had this much talent in one class, the class of '85. Guys like Ricky Johnson, 61 career wins, and Mark Barnett, 43 career wins. Also, don't forget Ron Lachine. He picked up 26 career victories over his long career. Johnny O'Mara, the O Show, number 3, picked up 16 career victories. David Bailey had 30 career wins, and Jeff Ward, number 2, had 56 career wins during the span of his illustrious career. They had 336 between them compared to the class of '05, which only has 299. An impressive performance for the class of 1985. Before we go racing, let's send it down to Jamie Little for this Honda Pit Report.
Well, Todd, every rider on the line tonight, the 125 main and the 250 main, are donating their jerseys, autographed and all. They're going to donate it to the Tsunami Relief Fund. You can go to supercross.cc.com and you can bid on them, and all the money goes to the Relief Fund. And Jeremy McGrath and Chad Reed are also donating their helmets. Great cause, guys, and what a great race we're about to see.
It's the 250 main we've been waiting for as we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid. The main is set to go from Anaheim. Windham with a great drive, but it's Carmichael emerging. And he'll pick up the Butterfinger. Chris pole shot, Ricky Carmichael back in the game. Kevin Windham sits in second place, but it is Carmichael on board the Suzuki out in front. Windham is second. And here comes James Stewart, number 259 in third.
And Ricky Carmichael getting the triple and all the ruts. James Stewart trying to dive inside of Kevin Windham. It was too muddy there. It wasn't a good line to go for. So you got to remember, experience may pay off. James Stewart going for his first win ever in the 250 class.
So Carmichael leads them into the green flag lap. Kevin Windham sits in second, and James Bubba Stewart sits in third as we take a look at the Butterfinger crisp replay. And you couldn't have drawn it up any better than this, Cameron.
Well, Ricky didn't have the jump. It was Windham. It looked like it had the jump. And then look at Ricky coming running up right down the middle and has a great line in the first turn. Gets on the binders, grabs the brakes enough, and gets the line and goes right into that spot where you want to be, making the extra cash Butterfinger crisp pole shot.
Here it is again. It looked like he had a little bit of a lag right there, Cameron. Perfectly punched out in the middle section, found some dry ground, if there is any in Southern California, and picks up the whole shot. Back to racing action. It is Ricky Carmichael still out in front, and just like the ground was dry, he is tripling. Unbelievable. Carmichael tripling through there. Kevin Windham sits in second place. While we were away, this is what happened. James Stewart went down, and that is Jeremy Albrecht trying to get it up. And look at that.
So James had, we talked about earlier that the handguards can cause a problem if you crash. And just there, it looks like James Stewart's handguard maybe caused a problem with that throttle or front brake.
So James Stewart back on the the horse again. Will he be able to track down Carmichael, who is well out in front by over 100 yards over second place, Kevin Windham. For a guy who missed all of last season, Cameron, this is unbelievable.
Well, Ricky Carmichael, I've spent a lot of time talking to him. I had breakfast with him once, and he has just been so calm and cool and collected. You said he was out hanging out with the fans today. Most riders are hiding in their motorhomes. Ricky was just working with all the fans, and right now he's working the track beautifully. But let's not forget, it's a long main event. 12 laps. Anything can happen.
No question about that, but he has done himself a huge favor as he is only able to double through there as he had lap traffic ahead of him. It's amazing, Cameron. We're 3 laps into it, and he's already lapping guys.
And not just, I mean, there are no slouches. Damon Huffman just got lapped.
But he's done himself a great service, and he's built in a buffer. He's probably got about, at this point, 14 seconds on Kevin Windham, so if he did go down, he would be able to recover rather quickly. Carmichael continuing to work his way through the field. Kevin Windham now coming through, but it is Carmichael who has been stellar. I mean, absolutely stellar from the get-go.
Lapping Tyler Evans there. Watch Ricky Carmichael when he's lapping riders. Ricky is confident, getting in his lines and attacking. The other riders you can compare him to, they look confused and out of sorts.
Right now, let's check in with Jamie Little.
Well, guys, unfortunately, Jeremy McGrath standing on the sidelines watching Ricky Carmichael lead right now. He saw what happened on the start. He just got loose. He couldn't see anything. He came together with Heath, Voss and broke his clutch. So, he's going to call it a night. We'll see him in Phoenix.
All right, that is sad news, Jamie, indeed, because Jeremy McGrath, certainly one of the great superstars, and a lot of people are turning out to see this, but Ricky Carmichael is making them think twice as Fonseca finally gets back on track. He was all the way out the track, tipped over onto the concrete, got his bike going again. He has slid back quite a ways. So right now it is Carmichael, Windham, and Reed, your top 3. Travis Pastrana sits in 4th, Mike LaRocco in 5th, then Fonseca, who's dropped off the pack, and James Stewart is all the way back in 12th position.
And Todd, Ricky Carmichael getting swirly up the face of that jump, but he holds it together, keeps his feet on, holds the clutch in, gets ready to get going as soon as the impact. No problem for him there.
Ricky been doing a lot of work with his trainer, and that was an unbelievable save. Carmichael in maybe the best shape of his life. Ricky showing them exactly what they were missing. Can Carmichael hold on and pick up the victory? We'll find out when we come back to Anaheim.
Whoa, Chad Reed.
Here you go, kid.
Supercross champ. Yeah.
You're gonna need all this.
Welcome back to Angel Stadium. Moments ago, Ricky Carmichael went down, and he is struggling to get the bike up. He's lost 1 position. Kevin Windham has gone to the lead. The problem is his positioning on the track, and the bike is dead, Cameron. He was unable to save the clutch. He got it kicked on the first start. Now Ricky's going to have to backtrack to spin the bike around.
Carmichael goes down again. And he's going to have to pick it up on the uphill again. He needs, again, watch for him to swing the wheels down and around. Carmichael had a commanding lead. We saw Windham go by. There's his mechanic, Mike Gosler, looking on, but 1 kick last time to start it. We'll see what Ricky is this time. Remember, he's shorter of stature. It's harder for him to get his foot up and over the bike.
Here's how it happened while we were in commercial. Carmichael looking good right here.
Cross ruts going around Vuillemin. His bike is on the uphill. He has to pull it down. Kevin Windham comes into the picture.
Yeah. I bet he comes around that corner, Cameron, and says, I cannot believe after Carmichael had a 15-second lead that he went down. But you mentioned it. He could go down at any time, and it's a long race, and Carmichael finds out just how slippery the track is. Can you believe this? Kevin Windham, who so many people pretty much thought was an also-ran. He wasn't Chad Reed. He wasn't Bubba Stewart. He wasn't Ricky Carmichael. He wasn't Jeremy McGrath. But right now, Kevin Windham is your leader. What a turbulent week he has had. Let's check in with Jamie.
Well, you guys, yes, he has had some issues. He just actually had a baby girl, but he has a new mechanic, Brent Myron. Brent won the championship with Ivan Tedesco last year. He's back with Kevin Windham, and right now he's just clenching his fist, full of dirt, ready to watch this boy win the race.
All right, well, he's still got a long way to go, as Ricky found out 4 laps. Meanwhile, Chad Reed has found trouble of his own. And I'll tell you what, Ricky's words have proved prophetic, Cameron. You can't win the title here, but you certainly can lose it. Chad Reed gets the bike rolling once again. So as we sort through everything that has happened thus far, Carmichael leading for the first 6 laps. He goes down. Windham inherits the lead, and Ricky Carmichael goes down again, and he is slid all the way back to 6th place.
Well, I was talking to Kevin Windham and Jeremy McGrath, and they were kind of laughing about a race back, I believe it was at 98 Charlotte, and it was a little bit muddy, and Jeremy said, man, you were going so fast, acting like it wasn't even muddy, but you ended up scorpioning in. He crashed, he watered up, and McGrath had a chuck. He goes, you crashed, but I got lapped. McGrath's on the sidelines right now. Kevin Windham is leading, but he has to remember, he's got to play it smart. You can see, not too far ahead of him, not just there, but just a little ways ahead is James Stewart, who's in a position to be lapped.
Unbelievable turn of events thus far. Kevin Windham, after what has happened to him the last 2 weeks, the birth of his daughter, as Jamie pointed out, a tragic loss of the mechanic. He has adjusted, he's picked up a new mechanic, and now he has gone to the lead, and I think he's got to be thinking, look at this. Byron's out there saying, circle the wagons and get it out front. He didn't even care about the mud on his melon.
Brent getting right to it. An unbelievable mechanic. And he's so diligent, working hard. Yesterday, last night, when no one was around, Brent was still working on Kevin's machine.
Ricky Carmichael starting to move up to the pack once again as he gets by Mike LaRocco. We'll see if he's going to run out of muddy real estate this time. But it is all about Kevin Windham as we watch Kevin Windham work his way around this track here in Anaheim. Over 7 inches of rain has fallen in the last 3 days, and it is showing tonight. But for Ricky Carmichael, the night has gone from good to terrible. Can Carmichael recover? Can Kevin Windham move up as Carmichael now sits in 4th? Stick around. We're coming back to the 250 main after this short break. Welcome back to Angel Stadium. It's the 250 main event, and this is an absolute disaster for our defending champion, number 22, Chad Reed. The front wheel seemingly has locked up. He is overheated. Look at that. Front wheel is not moving, and Chad Reed was in 2nd place. He is now sliding back, and Cameron, he's in serious problems right now.
We talked about it. You have to make your bike live. Ricky Carmichael has fallen down, but not a big deal. Chad Reed's front wheel's locked up. He's trying to get to his mechanic. The bike is now working twice as hard with the front wheel locked up.
Meanwhile, Kevin Windham has had the good fortune of being out in front after Ricky Carmichael built an unsurmountable lead, and Windham now runs into problems, and he stalls the bike. And the problem is he's got a 4-stroke, and you know how tough those are to get going again. Ricky Carmichael once again is closing in. I do not believe this. In what could have been an absolute disaster for Carmichael, the turn of events are unbelievable. Carmichael currently sitting in 2nd. Talk about re-gifting.
That's a bad thing you do during Christmas.
And Carmichael's seeing this and going, you got to be kidding me. And now he is without his goggles. Carmichael, for some reason, has dumped his goggles. Talking to Paggio from Oakley, he said he loaded them up with 18 tearaways. That's the helmet cam.
That's the view Ricky's seeing. Oh, Carmichael goes down. Here comes Pastrana along the side there, but I don't believe that's for a position. Pastrana has dropped back.
But Ricky keeps the bike running, so Mike LaRocco slides in it. Oh, you got to be kidding me. LaRocco's in 4th, Carmichael in 3rd, Pastrana in 2nd, and Windham is still in the lead. So Kevin Windham able to save that, but what a turn of events. Cameron, I don't think I've seen anything like this in a long time.
For sure, and the one, oh! Mike LaRocco doubles past Ricky Carmichael for 3rd place!
So Mike LaRocco now moves into 2nd place. Kevin Windham is your leader. Ricky Carmichael sits in 3rd. Oh my. So the Rock bringing it home Huffman. Cameron, we are down to just 3 laps. So it's Mike LaRocco currently sitting in second. And can Ricky Carmichael keep the bike alive to the finish? Stay tuned to find out if Kevin Windham will be your winner in the 250 main.
Driven motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles.
Welcome back to Angel Stadium. We are on the final lap of the 250 main event in absolutely difficult conditions. Your leader, Kevin Windham, with half a lap to go. Carmichael got the whole shot, but Windham held on, made the right decisions at the right time when Ricky went down, and he has not relinquished his lead. It's one more turn for number 14, and he will take home the prize. Your winner from Anaheim, Kevin Windham.
Well, Kevin went with 5 wins last year on the season, finished second in the Supercross Series. I don't think he could have started it off any better. He's got to be excited inside there. I can't wait to hear from him.
Well, the crowd has been phenomenal. Despite the heavy rain, almost 50,000 plus have stayed in their seats and witnessed an amazing race. So at the conclusion of a memorable 250 main event, your winner, as we take a look at the Honda official results, it's Windham, Mike LaRocco, and Ricky Carmichael on top of the podium. Then it's Tortelli and Stewart. And there you see the defending champion in 16th place, Chad Reed. But there certainly was a turning point. The Nissan turning point was this one with Ricky Carmichael out in front.
Ricky just used this little section, came a little short, wedged in the mud, and threw down the bike. A little bit of a soil sample. Think of this view. Kevin Windham going by and taking the lead. Talk about a turning point.
Right now, let's throw it down to Jamie Little, who's with our winner, Kevin Windham.
And what a surprise it was. A lot of people were talking about 4 other riders, and it did not include Kevin Windham. He takes home the win tonight. Kevin, over the last couple weeks, a lot of emotion going on in your life. I know there's more to it winning here tonight, so I hate to ask the question, what does it mean to you? But I know there is something there.
Absolutely. Everyone's important, but this season's been a roller coaster ride, you know, and finished it out on a high note with the birth of my second daughter. I'm super excited about that, and you know, just try to put the chaos behind me. And this race tonight was nothing short of that. You know, I knew Ricky was going for it. He was doing a triple. He was just going nuts. He was pulling away from me, and I just said slow and steady, and it worked for me. And then with about 3 laps to go, I fell, and at that point, I wasn't getting the pit board anymore. I was just out trying to do my own thing. I didn't even know I was in the lead because I was on the ground so long, and then, you know, see that checker flag come out, man, it's just an incredible feeling.
Way to put the test to your new mechanic, right? He was going, if he had hair, he'd pull it out.
Yeah, exactly. Brent's my new mechanic here for 05, and things are going great, and what a way to break him in.
Way to break you in and break in the new season, 2005 Supercross. We're off to a great start. Guys?
And it all culminates in Las Vegas, Nevada, the official destination of Supercross on May 7th. Get your tickets now. As we take a look at the point standings right now, it is Kevin Windham on top of the THQ AMA Supercross Series, and there's Ricky Carmichael on top of the THQ World Supercross GP. So, for Jamie Little and Cameron Steele, I'm Todd Harris saying so long from Anaheim, California. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Your winner in Anaheim, Kevin Windham.